Well, welcome to the Massachusetts Military Heroes Fund 9/11 Care Package Drive, and thank you all for being here and volunteering, all those that helped leading up to today, generating packages and the items that ultimately will go into the packages. It's a real honor to be here. I'm the president of the Massachusetts Military Heroes Fund. My name is Tom Crohan. On behalf of the board of directors, on behalf of the staff, Diane Nealon, Kathy King, just a huge, huge thank you to all of the volunteers that are here. The work is enabled by a whole host of partners, but I do want to start just by naming our sponsors. My company, John Hancock, thank you to all the folks in blue, Bank of America, 9/11, Good Deed, National Grid, and behind me we have representatives of the Patriots. Thank you to the Patriots and the Patriots Foundation, to the Kennedy Greenway for playing host to us today, and ultimately to the service leaders from Project 351. A huge shout out to the Project 351 service leaders. Thank you all for being here. We're going to begin with the formal program with a presentation of the colors by Boston EMS, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by the service leaders from Project 351. Thank you. So today is an opportunity for all of us as a community to honor and remember all that we lost 17 years ago on 9/11 and to pay tribute to the service and sacrifice for all that was lost in the years since, to the family members who have lost a loved one in military service. You'll see some of them here today. They're wearing yellow flowers. Please honor them. Please thank them for the service that their loved one has provided. And today we're going to be providing 500 care packages to go overseas to the servicemen and women currently operating overseas, in 500 care packages going just up to the streets of New England Center and Home for Veterans. It's all thanks to the wonderful work and effort of people represented here in this room, and it's an opportunity for us to say thank you, and ultimately it's an opportunity for us to come together as a community to serve. And as we come together to serve, I just am really honored and privileged to be a part of an organization that's able to organize this effort. We're doing it for now the 10th year in a row here on the Rose Kennedy Greenway. This is 9 years after the Edward M. Kennedy Serve America Act was passed into law and signed into law by President Obama that made 9/11 a national day of service. It's several weeks after one of its original co-sponsors, John McCain, passed. John McCain and Ted Kennedy believed strongly in the power of others to serve and believed that there was no higher calling than service. And so I just applaud all of you for joining us here today in a day of service, and I'm really honored and privileged that we have so many people represented here and the folks that are behind me. And right now I'm honored to introduce the Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Charlie Baker.
Thank you, Tom, and let me just start by thanking all of you for being out here today. And I want to thank especially the folks whose faces I've seen more than once when I've been coming out here over the course of the past few years, who come back year after year to continue to serve and pay your respects to the families that lost loved ones on 9/11 and to the families who lost loved ones subsequent to that as well. To build on something Tom said, Martin Luther King said one time that anybody can be great because anybody can serve. And I think it was one of his shortest and most succinct statements but also among all the truisms that he delivered over the course of his beautiful and glorious life. That one in particular always stuck with me. And as somebody who has always tried to find those opportunities, either in public life or in private life, to find a way to serve and to participate and to pay it forward, that's exactly what today is all about, not just here in Massachusetts, here in Boston, but around the country. And in many respects, it's our way of trying to turn the tables on what everybody would agree was a horrible and terrible and grief-stricken moment, and try and create something positive going forward, and to give perhaps the gift of life, the gift of hope, the gift of possibility to somebody else. And to the schools that let you guys all go out and play with us today instead of going to school, thumbs up to them. And to all the employers who gave their folks an opportunity to come out and serve today, God bless, and thumbs up to you as well. I hope we have a chance to continue to do this year after year after year, and to make sure that the memories of those who've been lost on 9/11 stays fresh, because it's important for the family members and their friends that we never forget. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Massachusetts Military Heroes Fund does two signature events. This one, and then around Memorial Day, we're the organization that plants over 30,000 flags on Boston Common. The governor and the next speaker, Mayor Martin Walsh, have been champions for this organization and the family we serve. So it's an honor to introduce Mayor Marty Walsh.
Thank you very much, Tom. And let me just recognize a few people. I know they've been recognized already, but it's important to do that because a day like today, and this event that we're doing today doesn't happen by accident. I want to thank Tom and everyone at Mass Military Heroes Fund for coordinating this incredible event every single year, and Memorial Day as well. But thank you to all the board members that are here. I want to thank Steve Kerrigan for 10 years as a director here. So again, thank you to all of you. I want to thank the governor and his staff who we all work together. There's no separation when it comes to an event like this, and making sure that we honor and respect the military who's fighting for our country. And I want to thank the governor. Major General Gary Keefe, thank you, General, for being with us today. Thank you. Andrew McCauley, who does incredible work at the New England Center Home for Vets. Anyone who hasn't had a chance to get over and check out the center, Andrew has spearheaded the incredible renovation of the center and created homes there. So thank you, Andrew, for your great work as well. Veterans Commissioner Giselle Sterling, who runs our Veterans Office in the City of Boston. I know she's here. Thank you, Commissioner Sterling, for being here. I want to thank Boston EMS, who's here with us. Say thank you, Boston EMS, as well, for the great work you do. I want to thank the volunteers, and I'll thank you at the end. I'll be brief. Today, we just left the State House, where Andrew Card, who is the Chief of Staff to President Bush the day of the attacks on 9/11. He's the gentleman, for the young people here, he's the gentleman that was leaning over the President's ear and speaking in his ear, letting him know as he was reading a book to second graders what was going on in America. And what he talked about today was that people will forget what happened on 9/11. People will start to forget. It'll become a page or two, he said, in the history books, which is true, which is correct. But today is about all of us not forgetting that day. Some of the young people that are here weren't born that day. Most of us that are older know exactly where we were at that particular moment. Andy Card brought me back to that very moment this morning when he gave his speech. And what's happening today, and when President Obama signed this piece of legislation, and when Tom talked about John McCain and Ted Kennedy, you had a Democrat and a Republican, and a lot of Democrats and Republicans understanding at the time that there was something bigger than them in their parties that were at stake here. And what was at stake was the nation, and giving back to the community, and giving back to the nation. And today, for all of us, it is about remembering those lives that were lost on 9/11, those families' lives that were changed forever on 9/11. It's also for us to remember the veterans and the active service men and women that are fighting for our country right now, for freedoms for other countries. And the families that are here today that lost loved ones, it's a remembrance for them as well, that their sacrifice that their family made and that they made personally and that their loved one made will not go in vain. So I'm here today on behalf of the city of Boston to say how proud I am of this city and how proud I am of this Commonwealth and how proud I am of our country. Because at the end of the day, we always do the right thing. And I want to thank all the volunteers, each and every one of you, the different organizations, the companies that are here year after year, the young people that are here year after year. You might not be here yourself, but there's other young people that come. And to the England Patriots behind us, I want to thank them as well for being here today. God bless you and God bless America.
Thank you, Mayor Walsh. We're blessed to have tremendous leadership at the city and state level, and that includes tremendous military leadership. There's not a better friend to the Massachusetts Military Heroes Fund, not a stronger supporter to the military families that we serve, and his staff and he, anytime there's an issue or anytime we need them, they step up and heed the call. So honored to introduce Major General Gary Keefe, Adjutant General of the Massachusetts National Guard.
Hey, I'm going to be really brief. There's not much more I can say that the governor and the mayor haven't already talked about, but I have the honor to continue to wear the military uniform and the privilege of serving as the Adjutant General of the Commonwealth under Governor Baker. What really strikes me today when I was out here is the fact that when I was talking to the young Project 351 men and women, a couple of them said they were a year old. Most of them weren't even born when September 11th happened. 17 years later, we're still a nation at war. And there's plenty of young men and women who might have been 2, 3 years old that are still fighting that war in faraway places. Right now in Massachusetts, we have about in excess of 200 guardsmen that are deployed across the world fighting the global war on terror. It means an awful lot when organizations get together and remember what that day instilled in all of us, keeping the memory of those that we lost alive on that day in subsequent days. But it really means a lot when you're a young soldier, airman, sailor, Marine, or Coast Guardsman, when someone you back home in the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts or in their hometown has taken the time to put a package together and say thanks. I mean, a lot of technology's going on. Right now you can FaceTime. It's a very, very small world because of technology. But it does mean a lot to know that a group of individuals from diverse backgrounds have gotten together with a passion, with a value system, and with a drive to make sure that their men and women who raised their right hand to defend the Constitution of this great country of ours have not been forgotten. So on behalf of all the men and women who put on any uniform, be it military, first responder, or just in the volunteer section, you don't have to put a uniform on to serve this great nation. So on behalf of everyone that has volunteered to make the Commonwealth and our country the beacon of freedom and hope that it is, thank you. That's all I can say is thank you.
Thank you, General. It's now my honor to introduce another one of our partners. So as I mentioned, we have 500 care packages going overseas and 500 gift bags that are essentially just going down the street to the New England Center and Home for Veterans. And their leader, their president, their CEO, Andy McCauley, is here. Please welcome Andy.
Thank you, Tom. Governor Baker, Mayor Walsh, General Keefe, Commissioner Sterling, Gold Star families, families of the victims of the 9/11 tragedy, and mostly Massachusetts Military Heroes Fund, Diane, Kathy, thank you very much. The New England Center and Home for Veterans is really, really honored and feels special to be part of this event once again this year and to be a beneficiary of all your work and volunteerism. I can just build on what the General had said. After 30 years in uniform and working 7 years at the New England Center, beyond the material and comfort benefits of the care packages, and the bags that you are creating here today to provide to service members across the globe and veterans at the New England Center. More than just the needed items that are in there, it is a huge message to the veterans I know. It's a message of appreciation, it's a message of honor, it's a message of acknowledgement of service and sacrifice, and that they are not forgotten. So on behalf of all veterans at the New England Center and the New England Center itself, thank you very much. We're honored to be part of this.
Thank you, Andy. I have the honor of introducing a close personal friend, a fellow board member of the Massachusetts Military Heroes Fund and a 9/11 family member herself. Christy Coombs has been a member of the Massachusetts Military Heroes Fund board. She's a fellow co-founder 10 years ago, and her, the Casey family, Katie Packenham, Carolyn Riley, Cindy McGinty and her family have helped our community as 9/11 families drive purpose and meaning out of this day far greater than we could ever do on our own. So with that, I invite Christy up to share some remarks.
Thanks, Tom. I'm going to be very brief. All I want to say is thank you to everybody for coming out today and spending your day remembering our loved ones in such a positive way. Carolyn and Project 351, you guys rock. You're our future, and it's very heartwarming to know that our future is in your hands. We would rather our loved ones be remembered in such a positive manner than with all the negativity, and this is an example of that being done. We encourage everyone out there to do an act of service and always choose kindness. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Christy. So that is going to conclude the remarks. I'd ask Boston EMS if you could please retire the colors, and then if everybody could stand for just a minute while we retire those colors. So just some logistics really quickly. We're going to have the mayor and the governor in our speaking program kickstart our service project by walking this way. Everybody that has a station, please make your way to that station going this way, and everybody that's going to be filling the care packages, please go this way, and we're going to create a line going this way. So thank you very much, and let's get to work.